network to the world. Subscribe now to the Hot 97 YouTube channel. It's Ebro in the Morning with Laura Stiles and Rosenberg.
Yo, it's Ebro, Laura, and Rosenberg. MC Lyte, Brooklyn's Own, is on the program.
Yes.
Lyte,
yes.
what's happening?
What's going on? I'm excited.
You
Today
look
is the day.
amazing this morning. Love the hairstyle. You look beautiful.
Isn't
it great being rich, Lyte? I mean, let's just be honest. You've looked great forever. This is what happens.
That's real talk, what he's saying.
This is what happens when you hold it down for, 25, 30 years.
That is hilarious. I am just blessed. You know what I mean? I'm happy to still be in the mix, getting up every morning, doing what it is that I love. And, God is good. That's all I can say.
There it goes.
I'm honored to be here with you all today. I got a reason, so.
Yo, and now listen, y'all, MC Lyte has is this a sitcom or is this a series? Like, you're acting?
I'm acting. I'm executive producing. I co-wrote it. I co-created it, and I'm starring in it. And it's a wonderful show. It's called Partners in Rhyme, and it's loosely based on my life. Matter of fact, the main character's name is Lana, which is my actual name. And she goes into the label ready to renegotiate for a new deal, and they go, we don't want you. We want this young girl who's an internet sensation. We want you to teach her everything you know, mold her and shape her, and it just so happens she's my niece.
Now is that loosely based on your life too? Is your niece out? You don't have a niece out here rapping? No.
No, I don't. I got plenty of nieces, but they don't rap.
Okay.
But in the show, it's, the dichotomy of wanting to still be in the business, but also wanting to help my niece. It's a bit of some drama.
Now, from experience of going through, being a solo star, being an artist that also had a resurgence in her career, and then still pivoting, and to this day now pivoting into not only this TV thing, but I mean, look, every year Soul Train Awards, BET Awards.
You're like the voice of BET. I mean, you're like the big voice of BET, no?
Actually, no.
No.
What's fun? No, I do the BET Awards, the ones. The big one that happens in LA.
We love it. The best award show on TV,
it
by
is
the way.
Best award
Let's
show.
be honest.
Yeah, I mean, it makes a big impact.
Yeah, I don't do the hip hop awards, but what I do, or what I've done this year, is the BET Awards, the Image Awards, the NAACP Awards, the Grammys, the Emmys.
Okay.
And there's one other one that I'm forgetting.
So I apologize. You're the voice of everything.
You're the voice of everything
is what I meant to say. I'm sorry. That's pretty damn. Yo, how did you do it, Lyte? How did you?
That's where I was going with my question. Was like you made another career pivot, and it's
where did it start?
Yeah, the first pivot. How did you do the first pivot? Because there's so many layers to your career, right? And we all fell in love with you going all the way back to Light as a Rock. But then,
Paper Thin. We're gonna play that coming up.
Yeah, Paper Thin, and all the classics at the beginning. But then you had multiple resurgence in hip hop, right? You had your Roughneck moment, you had your Cold Rock a Party moment, you had the posse cuts that were huge. But then a couple years later, you started transitioning into this other person in media. I guess, how did that transition out of the specifically making music thing happen?
Well, in the very beginning, my first manager, because now I'm on my third, and I've actually spent 13 years with my first manager, 13 years with my second manager, and now I'm on the third. And I finally got the flow. It wasn't really their fault. It was where I was and what I needed, and felt like I was hitting a glass ceiling on the things that I wanted to achieve. But I remember my first manager saying to me, it is going to be up to us to build your celebrity and have you be popular, whether you have a hit record out or not. And as soon as I heard that, I thought of all the things that I ever wanted to do. I was enrolled to attend Norfolk State University, coming out of high school, and my career hit, so I couldn't go. But I was going to major in communications because I wanted to use my voice. I wanted to be on radio. I heard Carol Ford in the likes of all of the stations that New York City was booming through the airwaves. And so to do voiceover, it just felt like a natural progression. I took some voiceover classes and some coaching sessions. And my first voiceover was actually for VH1 Hip Hop Honors. And then I guess BET heard me, or one of the producers, because, it's Viacom. So a lot of them, share duties on different networks. And so I think they just pulled me into BET, and then it just kind of went from there. I got a voiceover agent, Malcolm Jamal Warner, introduced me to his agent, which isn't a normal team is. Who yours is your team. People aren't so apt to introduce you to their agents. But he did. Thank you, Malcolm Jamal Warner. And I was with that agency for a long time and did a bunch of, all of the big name products. And it just stuck and it kept going. And as far as acting, I took acting classes and then started that mission. But it all started with me leaving New York, actually.
Which was when?
That was in 1996.
Okay.
Wow. And straight to LA, straight to Hollywood.
It was a snowstorm here in New York, 10 feet of snow. I was walking through the Harlem city streets. Cars were covered with snow. And I was like, I am not doing this again. I'm not going to do another winter in New York City. And I left, and I was there for 4 months playing around. And then I finally sold my property in Jersey. I still had something in Brooklyn, but I was like, I got to get out of here. And then that's when I really started to go after the things outside of music.
Now, do you get to come back to New York frequently? I mean, you still have a lot of family here. Matter of fact, speaking of family, one of the big questions from one of the producers on our show was, can she substantiate the claim that Milk Dee from Audio 2 is her brother?
Can I substantiate?
Is that her brother? We must know.
Were you saying it loosely or literally your brother?
Well, let me tell you what happened. When I met all of them, I was 16 years old. And so when I signed on to First Party Music, my mom had a talk with Nat Robinson, the owner. And she said, listen, if she's going to do this, you're going to have to look after her. And he said, I'm going to look after her as if she is my daughter. And so those were his sons. So I all of a sudden had this family wrapped around me to take care of me in this crazy ass business.
So it is your work brother, your figurative brother, not your blood brother.
Right.
But a brother nonetheless.
Did y'all stay close over the years? Have you guys stayed tight?
Yeah, absolutely. With Milk and Giz, they helped to hone in the sound and make MC Lyte. So yeah,
so
we're still close, and so is King of Chill. As a matter of fact, we just spoke yesterday, and we speak quite often. We've been blessed enough to create songs that are constantly being licensed and used in commercials and movies and TV shows. And so we're always on the phone discussing, look, we need to move quick with this. We got to make this happen. And King of Chill did Cha 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 and Light as a Rock.
Cha Cha Cha, so
you
crazy.
can cha 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 to this Mardi Gras.
Now,
I'm the dopest female
I guess
you heard thus far.
I guess I'd be remiss if you bring up Milk and Giz to ask, because I haven't heard from them in a long time. Are they chilling?
I knew you. She said they're the King of Chill.
They're absolutely chilling. I feel like the sun is moving. Let me find some more light.
Yeah, what more can you say? It's a good point.
What more can I say? Stop billing. Yes, they are chilling. They have families and still doing music when they want to, which is, something to be proud of when you don't have to do something or you're doing something because you love it.
What's the one for you? Cha Cha Cha, Paper Thin, Light as a Rock.
Poor Georgie. Poor Georgie was a smash.
But of those, but that's not the same. That's not as hip hop as the first four.
Still, Poor Georgie.
I loved it.
It was a storyteller record. It was a hit song.
Oh no, I was when I used to watch the Poor Georgie video, Lyte. That was one of the first times I ever got emotional around music. Like it was heartbreaking. But of those early joints, if you had to perform one, if they're like, hey, we're gonna, this could actually really happen soon. And they're like, we want everyone to do one song. What's the one you would choose to do?
If it was here in New York City, I'd probably choose Paper Thin.
Yeah.
Okay. And what about elsewhere in Los Angeles? What would you do?
If it was Los Angeles, maybe Cha Cha Cha.
Got it.
Cha cha cha, boy, it's crazy.
If it was Chicago, Light as a Rock. Like I cannot leave the building without doing Light as a Rock.
Wow.
It's the last song in Chicago because they King of Chill did a house version.
Wow.
And the house is extremely popular.
Yeah, Chicago, yeah.
And that song is just as popular as any other house song that we've ever had in New York City.
Wow.
Now, Lyte, at 16 years old, your mom okays you to become a rap artist. Were you writing rhymes? What were you writing a lot? You wanted to be in music. What was the impetus for you becoming a rapper?
Absolutely. I mean, once I heard Salt and Pepper, I was like, oh, wow. And then prior to that, it was Sequence and Roxanne Shante and the real Roxanne and Sha Rock from the Funky 4+1 More was the first female I heard on the mic. But when I heard Salt and Pepper, I was like, oh, this is what I want to do.
And what did your mom say?
She was very supportive. All I had to do was write an essay. If I could write an essay about why I wanted to go to hip hop, go to the hip hop club, Latin Quarters, Union Square, I just had to do 4 little paragraphs as to
Shout
why.
to mom. She had your writing skills ready though.
Yeah, and then I had that little composition book, and I would write poems and rhymes and all kinds of stuff. As a matter of fact, Light as a Rock came out of that book. The whole album was in that book.
Where's that book right now?
I don't even know.
The
history.
Universal Hip Hop Museum is getting it.
They need that.
That's one of those ones they need to have in the museum.
Yeah, you know what? I have other stuff I could give them for sure. Down at the African American Museum in DC, they have so much stuff from me in different sections of the museum, which is fantastic.
That museum is incredible.
So, yes, I got to get something. I don't know who's curating it specifically.
We can connect you.
We'll connect you with the people in the Bronx for sure.
Yeah,
Now,
Like,
go ahead.
in 2017, you actually hit the Summer Jam stage when Remy brought all these incredible women. And it was such a beautiful moment. But how is it for you? Because everyone's busy, but how is it uniting with the, with the OGs, with the original women who started all of this, and also having conversations with a lot of the young artists? How was that experience for you?
Oh man, it's great. I love it. Any given day. Matter of fact, the day before yesterday, Yo-Yo came through.
Yo.
Right? And then while she was doing her makeup in the bathroom, Rhapsody called.
Wow.
Did a little, quick catch up. Rhapsody is writing all the rhymes for a movie that Sanaa Lathan is directing down in Atlanta.
Wow.
And Lady London was with Rhapsody because she's also writing some of the rhymes and she's appearing in the movie. And Tierra Whack came through yesterday.
What?
What
the hell's going on out there?
Yo, what are y'all doing over there?
Yeah, it's fun. It's so crazy because Yo-Yo, she came through. Her daughter just turned 18. So she was in New Jersey celebrating. Then she came to New York. And we wanted to go to see Nick and Fat Joe at Harlem Lights. We got there too late. I'm like, Joe, what's up? It's too late, Lyte. You missed it. Okay, we're hungry. Where should we go? Melba's. So we're getting our eating Zagat survey from Fat Joe.
Joe's the best.
Telling us where to go to eat. It's wonderful to be connected in that capacity. We're all lovers of hip hop. So when you find people that kind of speak the same language at the same tempo, it's a beautiful thing.
Let's talk about maybe the most incredible entrance to a song of all time. Funky fresh, dressed to impress, ready to party. Money in your pocket,
dying to move your body.
To get inside, you paid a whole $10. Scotch tape with a razor blade taped to your collar. Leave the guns and the crack and the knives alone.
MC Lyte is on the microphone.
Yo, on a song with everybody in the world, you had the moment that you know what I'm saying? Like, can you take us through that process and clear up the thoughts that exist about that verse and the writing of it, etc.?
Absolutely. So we're all in the studio. KRS-One. I think there's a photo where you can see KRS-One, LL, D Nice, and it's one other. It might be Kumo. No, we wouldn't have Kumo D at LL.
LL. I was about to say that didn't
And
happen.
by the way, why was LL there? He didn't even get on the song. So weird.
You know what? They wanted him to get on the song really, really badly. And I don't know if it was a decision of his or his record label. But mind you, these are the days where record labels aren't too keen on you rapping on other people's records on other labels.
By the way, it's still like that. It's still like that. There's
so many collaborations.
Worse then, though.
It was worse then, but it still happens now where these two labels ain't getting along or they only want to feature artists that are. It still happens. But go ahead on.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
Okay. So in any case, I'm there. I'm writing. You know, I'm getting really analytical with what it is that I'm writing, and you know, I say it, and they go. And I had the same experience with Puffy with Cold Rock a Party, where I was writing. He was like, "You're making too much sense. Like, make it, you know, every thought doesn't have to correlate with the next. Like, just free it up a little bit." And so, inside the studio with Self-Destruction, you know, already LL was brewing. I'm sure if he got on the record, a lot of what I said, he would have said. So we worked together to get the freshest lines and, you know, have it be hot and current, but not necessarily as analytical as I was making it. And so it was so crazy because at one point I asked, I think I finally saw the splits on it, and I didn't have any publishing or writers on the song. And I know that I contributed, but when I looked at LL, he had 2%. That's how many people was on this song.
Right.
And so, you know, I called up my folks and I was just like, you know what? I'm not even understanding. How does this play out?
Cram to understand.
They said, well, this is you're funny. This is the way that it was written. Nobody complained then. So if you want to go to LL and ask him for some of the 2%, you can do that. I'm like, fuck that. I don't even know. You're like 1% of a damn song. Like, that's crazy. But we did work in tandem. And there's only 2 times that I have not written a song. And I'm so glad that I got past not liking it in order to do it. Because to me, cha-cha-cha,
it's crazy.
To the Mardi Gras, that ain't MC Lyte. That wasn't MC Lyte at that time. I was hot damn ho, here we go again.
Yeah.
I was coming from Brooklyn, and cha-cha-cha was a little more playful than I was accustomed to. So I'm glad that I got out of my own way and did it. It was #1 on the Billboard charts and one of the most popular songs. When I perform, people know all the words to Cha-Cha-Cha, and big up to King of Chill for doing that, which is why I understand when a record label will drop an artist for not, going with the flow of what a hit record is. Sometimes as an artist, you don't tune in. You're too busy hearing your own voice and what it is that you like, and you can't hear a hit necessarily. So big up to King of Chill. And then the other one, I wanted King of Chill to write because it was to a Foster McElroy song called Dr. Soul, and I didn't get it. I was like, I don't even know what to write to this. And I actually said no the first time. And then, these are the guys that produced In Vogue. So this was maybe 8 months before In Vogue came out. They're actually in the video and they're singing in the video. But the video was about the producers, Foster McElroy. And so I said, KC, if you can write that rhyme, I'll do it. If not, like, I'm gonna have to let it go. So, sometimes for the sake of the song and participating, I have allowed someone to come in.
Well, I think that's glossed over in the music making and recording of things that are going to entertain the people, right? A lot of times artists are so, like you said, they're caught up in their own echo chamber. They're hell bent on just being what they are and not really focusing on maybe what's good for the party goer, the consumer, the person commuting in their car going to and from work, and what those people are vibing to be a part of their lives in that kind of way. Sometimes artists are so stuck on bringing people into their own world, as you just articulated, that they don't go out into other people's world and see what ways that they can, touch people and affect people in their world, and sonically, musically, et cetera, et cetera. So yeah.
You know what's so crazy when you said that? I can always hear a hit from someone else. You can play me the whole record. I'm like, that's gonna be the hit, and that's gonna be the hit. When it comes to me, I never saw it.
That's interesting and very honest.
With Roughneck, went down, did the song. I knew it was energetic, but I had no idea what Roughneck was gonna do. Co-Rock a Party. Puffy must have called me 20 times after I left the studio. This shit is crazy. Lyte is crazy. We need to do this, and the third. It was like the most excited I'd ever seen him in my entire life. And it was sure enough a hit, one of my biggest selling records ever, but I didn't see it. The only one that I saw, and that was earlier, was Paper Thin. It was Poor Georgie. It was from the earlier days. I could tell because I was in touch and it was what I was doing. When I started to work with other producers, and they call them super producers for a reason, because they really get involved with lyrical content, or how it is that you say it. Most producers you work with, but you do. These guys really get involved from beginning to end. The one that I knew was Jermaine Dupri's Keep On Keeping On.
Yeah.
I knew, I was like, oh, this right here, this is it.
Did you?
And what?
No, I'm sorry. I was just gonna say on the note of these songs and how they got made. I personally, not that you care, it matters, but we've discussed this on the show before. I had weird feelings about Roughneck when it came out. Like I simultaneously liked it, and I think the Beatnuts remix too. Like,
yeah.
But simultaneously, I guess it didn't feel. As a fan, I was like, is this MC Lyte? It doesn't feel like MC Lyte. Can you tell us about that and how Roughneck came to be? Was I wrong for feeling that way?
Probably. To me, Roughneck was an ode to everybody I grew up with. I grew up in Brooklyn. Everybody on my block was from the Caribbean. It was only 2 American families on my block, and I was one of them. The rest were Jamaicans, Haitians, Bajans, Trinidadians, Panamanians, Barbadians, Bahamians. And that was an ode to them. Pepper, or the M1 posse, unfortunately, a lot of them are gone now. A lot of them were lost to the street. But that was my ode to those guys. And what happened is Apache had did Gangsta.
Jam.
And so while we're sitting there discussing, what we want to talk about, I was like, you know what? I want to do something for the guys I grew up with, for the Roughnecks that I grew up with. And that's literally how it started. And then we just went to work. And when the song was finished, the record label executives flew down to Virginia, because Teddy was like, no, you don't get to listen to this from your office. You got to come down here and hear it. And we had a hit record. And by the way, I've told this story before. Left Eye was on that record. She actually left tour to come to the studio to lay that second verse down. And then when it came time for the record label to approve it, they didn't.
Because she was on a different label.
Well, not just a different label. It's Roughneck. And you're talking about Don't Go Chasing Waterfalls. Like, it's a pop group.
Damn,
It's
even
a
though
pop
she's perfect
group.
for it,
Even though she would have been perfect.
Oh my goodness, she rocked her verse. It's on YouTube. Like, somebody got a hold of it and put it on YouTube.
Wow.
But the truth is, once it was nominated for a Grammy, I ran into L.A. Reid and he was like, oh, Lyte, I'm sorry, I didn't know. I said, that's the point. We never know. We never know what it could be. So. Well,
now the legend Lyte has got a television show. Where can people check this out?
ALLBLK. They can go to allblack.tv, or they can go and download the app like they would do for any other streaming service.
All Black. And this is a sitcom Lyte has written and produced.
Co-created,
starring in, doing the whole thing.
I heard she's doing the catering. She's doing the catering,
Oh, really?
cleaning, everything.
I
Partners
did the
in
set
rhyme.
design. I didn't know.
You doing hair and makeup? You doing hair and makeup?
Yes, only when I feel like it. So this concept I created with Wayne Conley, who's actually a very well-established writer. He's on Best Man right now. That's coming back as a series. He just finished 2 seasons on Greenleaf, 2 seasons on Queen Sugar. He's a sought-after writer. We created this. It sat for a while. And then I went and hooked up with Bentley Kyle Evans. And I was like, okay, listen, I got something. He was like, let's see it. Into a room. We wrote it together. Came out, got with the other writers to push out the season. Got with Brett Dismuke and Nikki Love at All Black. They loved it. Actually, they bought it without a script. We just pitched it. And
Wow.
they were like, that's it. We want it. And so it's an opportunity to put a lot of people to work. You know, the cast is phenomenal. We work with ABFF to find our co-star. Her name is Precious Way. In the show, her name is Luscious. She's a rapper, but one day she decided, you know what, I'm going to act. And literally she became Jack A's daughter on Days of Our Lives, became my niece on this sitcom, and became Brandy's daughter on Queens. So you can see her everywhere. She's a great spirit. And she plays Luscious T in the show, my niece, and she's really great. We got Rolanda Watts, New York's own. We got comedian Ron G, Wesley Jonathan. We just have an amazing cast of people, and I'm excited.
And is it coming up week to week, or are you putting up the whole thing?
No, it goes week to week, and then once it's up, then it's up, and then we start working on the second season.
MC Lyte, Partners in Rhyme. Go look for it on All Black. Download the app. Lyte, it's great to see you. We're going to get some of this classic music on too today, too.
Oh, I appreciate you. Mwah, 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 to
You know I
all
love
of
you.
God bless. Thank you.
Thank you, Lyte.
Yeah.
All right, there it goes. MC Lyte, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, yes.